This book, Personalized Learning, The Evolution of the Contemporary Classroom, interested me for many different reasons, one of which being that it is in tune with what I believe is a rapidly changing world. Our world today is all about content, customization, and purpose. The traditional school model is something that dates back to about the 19th century, a simpler time that required simpler teaching methods. Today's world is very complex, it is fast-paced, and it is always evolving. This book challenges the notion that every child requires the same education to become a quality working adult after they graduate. Instead, the author of this book delves into a different method of teaching that could have the potential to revolutionize the way students think about school. The first third of personalized learning is all about customization. Things such as customized learning experiences, where a student gets a chance to study something that interests them rather than take what the school forces them to learn. Having the students become more collaborative within the student-teacher dynamic, exploring or communicating outside the classroom using the endless amounts of applications and softwares that we have available to us in the 21st century, and finally, creating an environment where students are eager to overcome obstacles because they truly care about their work. Children and young adults today are very different from former generations of students. We have access to so much information and learn at a much faster pace. The need for the traditional one-size-fits-all approach to teaching is not only outdated, but potentially hazardous to the next generation of working adults. The early portion of the book does a great job of explaining how students of today want more out of life and they want fulfillment. They want purpose. The author does a great job of writing that students have an increased desire to care about something much larger than oneself, and she later goes on to explain that despite intentions to ensure that learners can be successful, educators seem to be working harder than ever but accomplishing less, while students seem to be more disengaged than ever but longing for more. So how do we change things without wreaking havoc on the core curriculums teachers are so accustomed to? One way is to make sure that we explain to students that they aren't just answering math questions or writing papers to get a good grade, but to help prepare themselves for anything life will throw at them after they graduate. They are learning things for a reason. The first third of personalized learning delves into the topic of creating a growth mindset for students, making sure they stay engaged in their studies. We need students that are willing to go above and beyond to investigate and solve problems and assess new problems that arise during that investigation. To get something out of it that is more than just an answer. If we are successful at creating this type of environment, students will not be afraid of failure and will instead look at failure as a learning experience. So in short, the early portion of personalized learning gets into the mindset of students in today's world of learning, and what kind of mindset we need them to have to be hardworking and efficient adults after they graduate. It's a fascinating book so far, and the concepts from the first third make a lot of sense in today's world. I can't wait to see what the next portion has in store in regards to how we can implement these changes in today's standard classroom setting without completely overhauling the system. Before ending my presentation, I needed to let you all know that this type of learning environment hits close to home for me personally because it's the exact type of curriculum I was fortunate to have on a small scale. In high school, as well as college, I was lucky enough to be immersed in a program that I chose personally because it was simply a lot of fun. I was involved in shooting and editing with video on multiple platforms including news, sports, and freelancing at an early age. I chose these last few pictures because they represent the main idea of the book so far. In high school, me and a small group of students became obsessed with putting out a weekly news production that went out to the entire school every Friday. Many problems persisted on a weekly basis, and stress levels were high to meet a deadline, yet we always found a way to come together and find a solution. There was high-level problem solving, math, collaboration, creativity, and overcoming adversity, all the things that this book wants in a student's life. These were some of the best times of my childhood, and I hope more students are lucky enough to have the same experience.